Welcome to Quantum X. In today's episode, we follow a small-scale DIY cabin project built from wooden pallets, clay, and straw. Simple materials, yet capable of forming a surprisingly durable structure. This is more than just a shelter. It's a technical exercise in load distribution, insulation, and cost efficiency under near off-grid conditions. Each pallet is reinforced to handle structural stress. The clay and straw are not just fillers, they function as natural insulation and moisture regulators. Throughout the process, you'll see how materials are selected, how the foundation is prepared, and the common mistakes beginners often overlook, all analyzed from a real construction perspective. If you're interested in sustainable building, DIY methods, or simply want to understand how a functional home can emerge from basic resources, this journey is worth your time. Stay until the end, because the final result reveals the true potential of this building method. At this stage, the foundation has been completed using red bricks and mortar, a practical choice for a lightweight structure. Instead of a full concrete slab, a shallow foundation is used to reduce cost and construction time while still distributing loads across stable ground. One key detail is the relatively level mortar surface, providing proper contact for the structural frame above. However, with this type of foundation, long-term stability heavily depends on initial ground preparation, something often overlooked. The team then begins assembling the wall structure using wooden pallets. The pallets are positioned vertically and fastened together with screws and reinforcement strips, forming the basic frame of the building. This is an efficient use of recycled materials, but it requires careful inspection for rot, warping, and load-bearing capacity. An opening for the doorway is planned and left in place from the beginning, a sound technical decision that avoids weakening the structure through later modifications. At this stage, alignment and secure connections between pallets are critical, as they directly impact the overall stability of the structure moving forward.
By day 3, the focus shifts to a critical phase: roof preparation. He uses a cordless mini chainsaw to level the top surface, ensuring proper flatness before installing the roof structure. Additional wooden supports are reinforced, creating solid anchor points for the roof system. This step helps distribute loads more evenly, especially when working with layered, lightweight materials like pallets.
If you enjoyed this presentation, please consider supporting us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on this fascinating project. Feel free to leave a comment below.
The front beam frame is built higher and divided into sections, planned for future glass panels to allow natural light in. This height difference between the front and rear creates a natural roof slope, a simple yet effective solution for water runoff. Next, roof beams are installed horizontally, acting as load distributors and stabilizing the structure. Spacing here is critical. Too wide leads to sagging, too tight wastes material. Finally, film-faced plywood sheets are cut and laid across the roof surface. This material offers good moisture resistance, forming a smooth, continuous base ready for the next waterproofing layers. With the main structure stabilizing, he shifts focus to the auxiliary area, the terrace or outdoor kitchen. Instead of extending a continuous foundation, he opts for zapatas, isolated pad footings, ideal for distributed loads and material efficiency. He excavates individual footing holes, ensuring sufficient depth to bypass weaker topsoil layers. A critical detail here is proper compaction and leveling at the base. Without it, the entire support system above may shift over time. Next comes the steel reinforcement. The rebar structure is minimal, yet sufficient to prevent cracking and improve localized load capacity. Two steel bars are left protruding above the surface. These will serve as anchor points for the wooden posts. This detail reflects forward planning. Instead of placing wood directly onto concrete, where moisture can cause decay, the steel interface helps separate materials and extend structural lifespan. With the reinforcement in place, he proceeds to pour concrete into the footing bases. This step locks the foundation system. Concrete stabilizes the rebar and forms a load-bearing surface for the column structure above. The mix ratio and compaction quality here are critical for long-term durability, especially in outdoor conditions. As the concrete reaches initial strength, wooden logs are cut and prepared as vertical posts. Notably, the base of each post does not sit directly on the concrete, thanks to the exposed steel bars, helping to reduce moisture absorption and prevent premature decay. The posts are then erected, carefully aligned vertically and temporarily braced before final fixing. This stage demands precision. Even slight misalignment at the base can amplify across the entire roof structure.
If you enjoyed this presentation, please consider supporting us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on this fascinating project. Feel free to leave a comment below.
Gradually, the front canopy takes shape. This space acts as a transition zone between indoors and outdoors, usable as a leisure area or an open kitchen. From a technical standpoint, it also shields the main structure from direct sun and rain, extending the building's lifespan. Before sealing the wall system, he installs the internal utilities, water piping, and electrical wiring.
This step is essential to avoid costly modifications later. With pallet walls, routing must be carefully planned to prevent weakening structural connections. Next comes the core wall system, paja arcilla, a mix of straw and clay. The soil is soaked in water for several days to improve plasticity and bonding, then combined with straw to form a natural building material with strong insulation and moisture-regulating properties. The mixing process is entirely manual, stomping, turning, and hand passing. While slower, this method allows precise control over moisture content and consistency, key factors in the final wall quality. The mixture is then packed directly into the pallet cavities. Once dried, it not only provides insulation, but also increases the overall rigidity of the wall, transforming a lightweight frame into a more stable structure. At this stage, the ratio of straw, clay, and water, and the drying time are critical. Even small miscalculations can lead to cracking, shrinkage, or reduced thermal performance over time.
The front terrace is finished by arranging natural stone pieces. Instead of industrial materials, he uses raw stone combined with soil-filled joints, staying true to the bio-based construction approach. However, this method requires proper drainage or the soil joints may erode over time. Stone placement is not just aesthetic, it's a structural task. Each piece must be carefully selected and adjusted to create a relatively even surface. Uneven load distribution can lead to localized settling during long-term use. He then installs a sliding rail system for the main entrance. The rail is fixed to the structural frame, guiding and supporting the door's weight. Straightness and rigidity are critical. Even minor misalignment can cause jamming or uneven wear. Finally, a sheet of film-faced plywood is cut and shaped into a sliding door. This material offers good moisture resistance for outdoor use. However, all cut edges must be sealed properly to prevent water penetration and long-term swelling of the core.
Once the straw clay core has dried, he returns to refine the wall surface, a critical finishing stage. Excess straw fibers are trimmed off, cleaning up the surface and preventing weak points in the outer layer. Next, a steel mesh is applied across the entire wall. This is a key technical detail. The mesh acts as a bonding bridge between the organic core and the outer plaster, improving adhesion and reducing cracking as materials shrink over time. A final layer of clay plaster is then applied over the surface. This step is not just about coverage, it reshapes and levels the wall, correcting irregularities from the original pallet frame. Plaster thickness must be carefully controlled. Too thin and it won't protect the structure. Too thick and it may crack during drying. This is where hands-on experience matters more than theory. As the finish sets, the wall becomes smoother, stronger, and visually refined. The structure begins to resemble a complete home, no longer raw, but stable, enclosed, and functionally defined.
Wooden pallets, straw, and clay, readily available, recyclable, and placing minimal strain on the environment. This is a construction method that stays close to nature. It avoids heavy industrial materials and complex machinery, yet still achieves comparable insulation, stability, and usability at a small scale. What stands out is the simplicity of the technique. Most steps are manual: mixing, packing, aligning, making the process accessible even to those without construction experience, and in some cases, simple enough for children to assist with basic tasks. However, simplicity does not mean carelessness. Durability still depends on proper ground preparation, moisture control, and precision in execution. This is more than just a house. It's a demonstration that sustainable building can be accessible when materials are understood and methods are applied correctly. The final structural step, roof finishing, the most critical protective layer of the entire build. He begins by applying a bitumen waterproof membrane across the plywood surface. The edges are overlapped in the correct direction of water flow and sealed with asphalt adhesive, forming a continuous barrier against moisture. This overlap detail is crucial. If done incorrectly or without proper sealing, water can seep inward, causing hidden damage to the entire wooden structure. This membrane acts as the primary moisture defense, especially important for wood-based construction, which is highly vulnerable to moisture and mold. He then installs stone-coated bitumen roofing sheets. This material is lightweight yet durable, with a stone-coated surface that enhances UV resistance and reduces direct impact from rain on the bitumen layer beneath. Additionally, its layered structure helps reduce noise during rainfall and improves thermal insulation inside the space. Once completed, the roofing system not only ensures waterproofing, but significantly enhances the durability and performance of the entire house. The project enters its final stage, landscape completion. This is not a perfect structure by industrial standards, but it achieves something more important: practicality, sustainability, and the ability to be built with limited resources. A structure strong enough to serve its purpose, simple enough to replicate, and adaptable to different environments. From the most basic materials, a functional living space has taken shape, clear in purpose, efficient in design, and built to last. If you enjoyed this presentation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment and let us know what you think about this project. Thanks for watching all the way through, and we'll see you in the next video.